Hi everyone, I'm Alyce-Kay Ruckelshaus from Threshold of Hanani, and I'm here to do a flip through of a junk journal that I've created. And I want to just apologize ahead of time for the quality of this video. I do not have the proper equipment for this yet. So I have my phone lying on a cookie cooling rack that is resting on two boxes that are not the same size. And so I'm going to try to keep all of this within the frame. I'm not sure that it's quite big enough to be able to see the top and bottom of each page, but I will do my best, and then I'll show you the top and bottom and side at the end of the video. So anyway, there are a few reasons why I'm doing this. First of all, because I'm putting this on Etsy and I'm putting it in our brick and mortar shop. People in the brick and mortar shop, of course, can come and see it. But on Etsy, it's really hard for you to see what's in a junk journal. So people do flip throughs. But the other reason is because I really want to inspire some of you to maybe create junk journals yourself. They're very expensive to buy because they take a lot of time. The price that I'm asking for this does not come anywhere close to reflecting the amount of time that I've put into it, but they are a lot of fun to do. So if you want to make your own, then that's great. If you see one, there are a lot of them for sale on Etsy, and you can look there. There are some in other places too, but I think Etsy is by far the most popular place to find junk journals. And then you can just put junk journal into YouTube and find all kinds of videos on how to make them. Great tutorials. I'll link a few of my favorite tutorials in the description box below. But anyway, let's just go ahead and look at this. And on some of the pages where I don't need to explain things very much, I'll talk to you about how I see the possibility of these being an incredible memorial stone, because I've been teaching about memorial stones lately. You could just use this as a journal or as a regular junk journal, but you could also use it as a memorial stone. So in this inside cover, I have a little what we call library envelope, and it says this book belongs to. You can put your name there. There's a card in it, a journaling card. So this one has a design on the back, but you can journal on it. Some of them just have coffee dyed card on the back of them. All the pages in this book are hand torn. Most of them are coffee dyed. I did that myself. I coffee dyed a lot of the lace and some of the other things that are in it, including like the cheesecloth and stuff. So there's just a lot of, this particular journal is more of a grungy feel. I have another one that I'm working on right now that has a kind of French theme, and it's not grungy, but it is shabby chic. So this one also, you can probably tell, has a cat theme. So the front of it has this card on it that says, "A home without a cat is like a garden without flowers." And then I have a button from my husband's button collection. He's a sweater maker, and he makes sweaters on vintage machines. And he has tons of buttons because of that. So I have so much fun going through his buttons. So I have a button there. There's another button here. And of course, cheesecloth and some burlap. Okay, and the cover is kind of a, I guess you'd call it a soft cover. There's a file folder in between two pieces of printed paper is how I made the folder. And a lot of the edges of pages are sewn, or the lace is sewn on, you know, different things like that. And then a lot of stuff is glued. Okay, so here we have a flip. You can write inside this flip, and you can write on the page. You can write on this page, or if you don't want to cover up the cats, you can always write on another piece of paper or a card or something and paper clip it in here. But part of the beauty of a junk journal is that you don't have to go straight through in your journaling. You can look through and say, oh, you know, I just have a little bit to write today, so I'm going to write on the back of this card. And you can move these cards around too. So for example, if you write a verse, say, on the back of this card, but then you journal in here about something that this verse would be perfect for, you could move this card to that page. In this case, there's not a pocket, so you could paper clip it, or you could glue it on or whatever. But you don't have to go through it in order. And I also like junk journals because I think because they're so broken up, you don't feel compelled to write a huge amount each day. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. You can write just a little tiny bit. Like if you just have a little bit to write one day, then you just write on one of these coffee stain tags or on the flip here. And this envelope is really cool. I mean, not envelope, it's a pocket thing. And I saw Gail Augustinelli, I hope I'm saying her name right. See, there's a pocket back here. There's a pocket here, and a pocket here, and then this flaps open so you can write on it. I saw Gail doing a tutorial on making these, and I just really thought it was a great idea. So I have a few of those throughout this. A junk journal is not difficult to make, it's time consuming is what it is. So, and there are lots and lots of tutorials that will inspire you and give you ideas and show you exactly how to make things like these pockets and stuff. So you can do that yourself, you know, or you can always buy one. I'm planning to make quite a few. But I'll tell you, they aren't cheap because they do take a lot of time, and I don't think that most people charge, I don't for sure, most people don't charge as much as enough to reflect the amount of time that they put into making them. So we have to have a certain amount of joy in making them because like this journal, I would say probably 25 hours or more is what I spent actually working on this, maybe even more than that. And I'm not charging anything close to reflecting that. So you can write in here and on here. One of the things about junk journals is that you can write on everything. You can write on the pocket, you can write on the page, you can write on the back of the card, you can write on the front of the card. There's lots and lots of writing space. And I have quotes about cats all throughout, and this is most of the things I've distressed, this brown around here, I've distressed with the distressing ink. And on some of these pages, I've actually also stenciled it with a distressing ink. This is a coffee dyed page, and I've distressed it with distressing ink and stenciled it with distressing ink. And so, yeah, there's quotes all through. Here's another one of those pockets that I made from a catalog page, an Herbalife catalog page. And that's one of the things about junk journals too, is that we use a lot of junk in making them, things that we would have thrown away. So I really like that. And another thing that I like is that it's a junk journal in two respects as far as the junk. It can be made with junk, and also it's a place for you to put your junk. Okay, so on this page, I would probably turn to this page if I had like an embarrassing situation to talk about, or an oops, God, I'm sorry, this is what happened today, kind of thing, because I think the cat looks really embarrassed. Here's another quote about cats on a coffee stained page, and a pocket with a little tag that you can write on, coffee stained, looking really grungy there. What was I saying? Oh, junk. So you can put your ephemera, your stuff that, like your mementos, and they can be special, like from a vacation or something, or they can be just junk from that day that reminds you of something. Okay, so this particular pocket is called a Rita Donnelly flip, after Rita Donnelly, who came up with the idea, I guess. She is on YouTube all over the place with lots of great tutorials, and her junk journals are beautiful, so you might check her out on YouTube. But that's called a Rita Donnelly flip, and so you can journal right there if you want to, and then there's a pocket. And this has another card with a cat on it that's blank on the back that you can write on. You can write on the front too. I've got lines there. This is a piece of junk. It's a piece of paper from a home services lending pad that I coffee stained, and see it's like a little torn and stuff, so it's real grungy. And when I coffee stained it, I put a doily on top of it, so we got that nice little doily look. Hopefully I'm not taking the camera out of focus when I hold things up closer. Sorry, I can't see what you're seeing, so hopefully this is turning out okay. So one of the ways that I would suggest using this as a memorial stone is, of course, to record some of the bigger ways that God does things for you, but also the small things. So like in some of the pockets, okay, here is a note card, you know, it's unused, so you can write in it. You can send it to somebody if you want to, or you can write in it as part of your journaling. And then I have these little paper clips that I've made. I mean, I didn't make the paper clip, but I embellished them. Here's one of Bill's buttons and beads, and those clip on and then they hang off the bottom or the sides of the page, and they're just cute. And you can move those, of course, to other pages if you want to. But what was I saying? Okay, so like an everyday thing would be like if you went to the grocery store and you're really short on money and you need to get food for your family and you find that a lot of the things that you needed are on sale and you recognize that as God helping you out and providing for you, I would keep the receipt and write something like, look how God provided for me, and maybe circle the things that were on sale. Here's another one that you can flip up and write on. And I think that the back may also be a pocket. No, I don't think so. Yeah, no, that one's glued shut. Okay, so this is just one pocket, but I've got several cards in it. And I would put that receipt in one of these pockets, you know, as just, I know it sounds like such a small thing, but when you have a lot of those things added up, they really grow your faith, and it helps you to watch for and recognize the things that God's doing in your everyday life. I have 3 of these ribbons sewn into the binding so that you can have bookmarks. Here's another pocket with, I do a lot of this cheesecloth, coffee stained cheesecloth at the bottom. So it's just a way of helping to grow your faith if you want to use this as kind of a faith journal. You could journal just your normal things right on here. You can journal just your normal things and include the things that God does for you and the way that he works in your life and everything. And those things become very meaningful.